What's going on, guys? This is John from Texas Wiles,
Rooster from Rooster Outdoors.
and you are listening to the Wiley Rooster Boys Outdoor Podcast. All right, here we are again. I'm trying to make it through this episode best I can. I'm dealing with some tooth pain here, but we got a special episode for you today, guys. Along with Rooster and myself, we have a very special guest, Mr. Frankie. You told me your last name. I'm sorry. I got a terrible memory. I already forgot.
Francis.
Francis. Okay. We got a lot of stuff we want to share with you guys today. Rooster, clue us in on a couple of things we're going to be doing before we actually get into it.
Well, like I said, today, special podcast, we're actually going to be doing a giveaway towards the end. Be the first one we've done. But
Everybody
kind of
likes
wouldn't have been
giveaways.
possible. What's that?
Said everybody likes giveaways.
That's right. You know, it kind of wouldn't have been possible without Frankie here. He's kind of the man who turned me on to it. So, but we'll talk more about that going in. Frankie, I kind of want to introduce you. You got a YouTube, don't you?
Yeah, I actually, I got a fishy YouTube channel called One Fish at a Time.
I love that, man.
So,
Rooster
yeah.
told me about that, man. I just started laughing.
And that's my first name, so it just fits perfectly. And obviously, my nationality, I came from Mexico, so my name is Juan. So I'm just like, that would be perfect. And one of my friends told me about that name, and he's like, "Yeah, you should call it One Fish at a Time." He said that jokingly, and I'm just like, "It's exactly what I'm gonna call it."
That is awesome.
So ever since it stuck around.
I do like it.
I have watched a few of your videos, and I really like it, man. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, appreciate that. Haven't put one out in a while, but I'm hoping to do one here soon, and I'm pretty sure you guys know all about that too.
Yeah. See, I was gonna do a video yesterday. Me and a buddy from work, we went to. Well, I wanted to hit up PK Lake, just below the dam on 16. It's technically that's the Brazos River right there, but we went out there and there's so many people, and I bet the water may have been like 8 to 10 inches deep. But you had fly fishermen out there like crazy and all that stuff. So we ended up going to a little honey hole close to where we are, and we.
Hey, John boy.
Yeah.
Before you finish that story, I got to tell Frankie.
Okay.
Remember when you were down in Texas and I took you to that last spot?
Oh, you mean the spot that you told me there's a bunch of fish, but there wasn't?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what John Boy's about to tell you.
Yeah,
Okay.
We went out there and we got 22 in about 3 hours, I'd say. I mean, that's not really killing it, but that's pretty good.
Was that this weekend?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Wow. Okay.
I put pictures up on my Instagram and stuff like that. I mean, I really wanted to, spend time out there at PK and fish, but how shallow the water was and how unprepared I was for shallow water with all the people there, I decided, let's leave here and let's go somewhere where it's a sure thing.
Yeah. And honestly, when we went, the weather wasn't great. It was really hot that day.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty hot to the point where it wasn't good, fishing conditions. And we ended up fishing kind of towards the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just pretty much dead. It wasn't, usually when I go bass fishing around Nebraska, it's usually a bit cooler, and it's usually their morning or evening,
Mm-hmm.
because that's usually when they like to come out. But that day was super hot. and I'm pretty sure Rooster mentioned in one of the podcasts that he ended up getting a sunburn from that day.
Oh, dude. Like weeks afterwards before I was finally back to normal.
Yeah.
It was bad. But
I did find something out about that place. The area farthest south, the area I'm talking about, the spot that you and I hit the last time we were there. Well, there was an influx going on, and it was just banging, dude. That moving water right there, they were hitting like you would not believe.
Mm.
Honestly, I missed more fish yesterday than I actually caught.
Wow.
I was trying with a wacky rig a lot, and I'm not too good with a wacky rig yet. I'm kind of impatient, and I missed a bunch of them like that. But man, it was pretty fun. I had a really good time.
I tell you, go ahead.
I just wish it was like that when we went, man, because that was the last spot me and you, Frankie, went and stopped at. Was where he's talking about, where that moving water is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it
I'm
looks
not a
like
liar,
an
man. I'm
awesome
not a liar.
spot. You know what? I know you're not, and like I said, the weather conditions were the best, um, but I mean, it is what it is. You caught a 4 pounder that day, so you obviously had some decent luck, and I think
Yeah,
you caught a total of 3 that day.
yeah, I think
And
so.
I don't know what I was doing. I guess apparently not the right thing. But
What
I
were you?
should have threw a wacky rig out there just for the hell of it,
Man,
honestly.
they were hitting wacky like you wouldn't believe, man.
And that's about the only thing I didn't try, and that's one of my favorite things to throw is the wacky rig. So
Maybe I'm doing it. I don't know. It's I'm using those weedless wacky hooks,
okay,
and maybe they're really small. And I'm thinking,
right,
whenever I go to set the hook, I'm thinking that it's such a small hook that it kind of just bypasses anything it can grab and just comes out of their mouth.
right.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, I use a decent sized hook. I mean, I've never really tried a weedless hook when it comes to a wacky rig. I just I'm very specific about where I throw a wacky rig. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna throw it anywhere where I know there's vegetation because
That's the
it'd be
downside
pretty
of where
hard.
we are, man. It's like everything is like heavily vegetated, and
Right.
it's like out there. There was several spots that we hit up out there that you weren't throwing anything with a treble. Yeah, so I mean, like as far as the wacky rig goes, I have a lot of practice to do. I did end up throwing on a Texas rig and did pretty good, but and we're in Texas. When in Rome, do it
Right.
right.
And that's another one I always throw is a Texas rig.
I love it, man. I just started using a Texas rig probably a year and a half ago. And really,
Right.
for the most part, I just started using soft plastics about a year and a half ago.
I actually I use soft plastic so much around Nebraska that is just I even bought my own mold to
Oh
make
yeah.
yeah 5.5 inch soft plastic worms. And it's I think it's a set of 4 or 5. And what I usually do is I just take the old plastics that I don't use that don't work for me, and I melt them in the microwave on a measuring cup, and then I just pour a new mold, and I try to match up the colors, like
Hmm.
maybe a darker blue with some greenish flakes or red flakes,
But you just
and I'll
answered a
throw 'em.
question that I've had. I've wondered for quite a while now how you melt those down. I didn't know you could just do it in the microwave. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It honestly it depends on the plastic, but most of them you can melt down. Some of them you'll notice that when you try to melt them down, they almost like get like a chunky consistency, and it's those obviously have some other sort of plastic that just don't melt that easy. But most of them, yeah, you can just throw them in the microwave and melt them down.
Cool. Good to know. I think I want to try to find me some a mold to make ribbon tails, like 10-inch ribbon tails.
Oh, okay.
Because man, anymore trying to find those power bait, the 10-inch ribbon tail worm, the power worms, it is you can't find them except for online. I can't get them in stores. Like people just keep on buying them all up, and I can't get them.
Huh. Yeah. I think 6 cents makes one of those.
Yeah, I got some from Berkeley. I got some from Guggen, which I'm not too keen on Guggen. I mean, they work just as well as everything else.
Right.
But I don't. I'm not really part of that huge following of Guggens. Yes, I like their stuff, but there's other stuff out there that's just as good, and it's a little bit cheaper,
Right.
to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's one of the reasons why I bought the molds. Is actually one of my videos on my YouTube, one fish at a time. I actually take a Guggen bait and I take a divine, I think it's a divine shaky worm from 6 cents, and then I took my own homemade one and see if like maybe there was a difference. Every single one of them caught a fish. So obviously, fish I'm going to be too picky on stuff like that, but it was an interesting experiment to see if for some reason, you know, one of them would perform better than the other, but they all have about the same movement. The only difference I had is that the 6 cents worm is actually pretty tough.
Is it
That
Really?
one's probably gonna be yeah, it's probably gonna last you the longest. It's got the same motion as the other worms, which surprised me because
Hmm.
it's tough. It's a tougher plastic and it has the same motion, but
See,
it's
and that's what I've heard
honestly
about, like the Yamamotos, the Gary Yamamoto Senkos. I've
right.
heard that those things are phenomenal in movement, but you're sacrificing that action for a bait that's you might get one or two fish on it before it's tore up, and
Yeah.
you're paying $7 a package for those to catch one or two fish. I mean, yeah, if you just want to catch fish, go for it by all means. But
Yeah.
Rooster, you and I have talked about this several times. You don't have to go out and drop bukus of money on tackle to be able to catch fish.
Absolutely not. I
You
mean,
can
NTX, I watched him do it with lipless. Heck, I use the same lipless, the Ozark Trails crawdad colored one.
NTX that dude that we met at the tournament that day.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that
And
guy.
yeah, he's a good guy. But I did that too at that honey hole, man. I think I caught like a 3-pounder on that thing.
The biggest of the day was 3 pound 10 ounces yesterday.
Wow. That's not bad. This is
No,
definitely not bad. Um, but I mean, when I was down there and Chuck cut that 4-pounder, it was just like I was honestly amazed because I was in Nebraska. You'd be lucky to catch a 4-pounder.
really.
They're out there, but they're not like scattered everywhere. You know, like I've heard of people catching double digits, but most of the time when I go out there is somewhere between 1 to 2.5 pounds, or
And
maybe a little over.
those are
But
still fun.
um, yeah, oh, definitely, 100%. Is just it's really you really got to work the waters to catch something bigger.
Right, and that's kind of what I was telling John. You know, when I lived back in Nebraska, that's how it was. I never really targeted them, but you're absolutely right. It was 1 to 2 pounders. I think was all I ever caught for largemouth.
Right.
Personally,
There was
yeah, I would love to catch a double digit, but staying between the two to we'll call it 4.5, 2 to 4.5 pound, that range right there, I think is probably the most fun when it comes to largemouth.
Yeah.
Because you get
And I
them
mean,
honkers, I mean, they're just like pulling up logs. They're not really fighting anything
yeah.
over like 6.5, 7 pounds. They're not really fighting. They're just pulling on you.
Right. You know, you can't find those big ones around here also, but a lot of times when you do see someone pull out like a real big one, it's out of a private pond.
Hmm. Well,
It's not more
with that being said, what is
public
your take
waters.
on that? What is your take on PBs from private waters, or the
Um,
stipulations?
I think there should be stipulations because I mean you're working a much smaller body of water and you can just fish it whenever you want, you know. So it's like I guess it just depends on your personal point of view. Like to me, I if I caught my personal best at a private pond, it's not something I would want to brag about, just because it's like I take a little more pride in that, you know, and that sort of thing. So
I feel
it's
the same way. However, the stipulation I would put on it is it depends on how excuse me. It depends on how big the private body of water is. If it's a sizable
true.
body of water, I mean you're having to work a little bit more for it. You're having to try to find it and target it. But like you said, if it's a smaller body of water, absolutely, yeah, hands down, I wouldn't really discuss it too
Right.
much. But if it's a
It's
big area, yeah, I mean, people are
I
still gonna say
mean,
no, that doesn't count. But
especially if you personally know what's stocked in there, then it's
yes,
you know,
yes.
it's almost like cheating.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So we're pretty well on the same page on that.
Yeah.
So what
Don't
is
get me
your?
wrong. If I ever have an opportunity to go out there and fish a pond with some big fish, I'm
Oh,
definitely gonna go out there. You know.
oh yeah, of
Oh,
course. So with all that being said, what is your PB?
My PB, unfortunately, I don't really know my PB. The one I did weigh, um, actually the one that I did catch, I didn't weigh her, but I measured her, and she was 21 inches, and she probably weighed close to 5 pounds. She was during spawning season, and she had just had a belly full,
Cool.
and but
You love spawn fishing.
I never really weighed many fish until about 2 years ago when I started getting into bass fishing. I wasn't a huge my thing was catfishing, and then I found bass fishing, and it was just like I got addicted.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 or 3 years ago is when I really first started bass fishing. So I would have to say the one that I did weigh. was 3.18. That's when I started carrying a scale around for sure. When I really started taking it seriously, but
And
That's
that's
definitely
still a good fish.
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
heck yeah.
Well, real quick, guys, let's step back for a break, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back.
Yes, sir. So I got to say, Frankie, I think it was me and you were talking that I think you and John have something in common. You guys think them bubblegum colored plastics are the bomb, huh?
Oh, that's right. I
Yes,
do
they are.
remember.
Yes,
I
sir.
remember listening to one of the podcasts, and you mentioned that bubblegum color, and I was just like, exactly, like that's one of the most underrated colors for bass fishing, honestly,
It really is,
in
man.
my opinion.
I use the trick worms and I use flukes in bubblegum pink.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's I've seen John catch the heck out of them on it. I know that.
yep,
And
and
that's bizarre to me because a good rule of thumb is match the hatch whenever you're fishing. And
right.
there ain't nothing in these bodies of water that are bubblegum pink. So I
I
can't
mean,
explain
I
why it
don't know,
works.
like
I mean,
nothing that bright pink, anyways.
right. I mean, maybe during pre-spawn, whenever the crawdads are molting and whatnot, they're red, but they're not pink. So
Right.
I don't know, but it works.
I
I ain't gonna argue with success.
I have no idea why it even works really, but it does.
Yep. So I got to ask, how'd you get started into fishing, Frankie?
When I was younger, you know, like I said earlier, I came to the States when I was what 9 or 10 years old, and then my stepdad he liked to go fishing, so we'd go out camping and we'd go out fishing, but it was more of a throw the line out and let it sit type of fishing. So that's why I was huge into catfishing,
Right.
but it's more or less I've always enjoyed it as a kid, and as I got older, I kind of kept doing it just, pastime, a hobby,
Stress relief.
and yeah, stress relief. And eventually got to the point where it's like I felt like I was really good at it. So then I'm just like, this is something I can do every day. And, I think it's funny that I think it was you, John, that mentioned that you had a 5-year plan
Yeah,
on, and
I
I
might
was just thinking, like, don't we all though? 'Cause,
I might have to push that back to like a 10-year plan. But hey, it's a plan
yeah,
nonetheless.
yeah, especially you got twins coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. That I
Yeah,
do.
yeah, that might turn into a 18-year plan there,
Yeah,
bud.
you ain't wrong. Kids are expensive pets. I mean, I
Yeah.
shouldn't say that's a joke for those of you out there listening. That is a joke. I love my children.
Oh,
Just a joke. Don't get your feathers all rumpled up.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
and
personally. I can't
I
wait, man, until my kids get old enough to really enjoy fishing and hunting and just everything outdoors. Because and as
yeah,
we've spoken before on the podcast, this podcast is more this season. It is more than just fishing because we're outdoorsy people. As
yeah,
a whole, it's not just fishing. I love camping, hunting, fishing. All that stuff. It has to do with being outside. I'm all about it. But
100%. And now that you're talking about that, it's like the whole survival thing, man. I don't know what it is about men and surviving and having to push the limits on stuff like that.
hmm
That's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time.
you learn a lot about yourself in that setting.
I bet.
hmm
I mean, just having to respond to the situation of surviving, finding food, finding water, etc., all that stuff
I
is
found
just
out on my little 36-hour um, survival thing that I did. I have the video up on my channel. I found out that I suck with a ferro rod with wet wood. Now, granted, if the conditions were a little bit better and I had some dry stuff, it had been raining for like 2 weeks prior to that.
right.
So if I imagine if I had some dry stuff, it'd been better. But with that being said, well, let's look at it this way. What if something happens? It it hits the fan and you got to go into the woods and it's been raining. Well, can you start a fire with wet wood?
Mhm.
As of right now, me, it's going to be difficult.
Right.
I got a lot of learning to do when it comes to that. So, but you know, it's all you learn new stuff every day. So
Yeah.
you're always advancing.
Yeah, there's just so many different ways that you can do stuff. I mean, just you mentioning the starting a fire thing is just there's so many different ways you could do it.
Hmm.
And when it comes to survival, for one thing, is that I think if you narrow your mind to one thing, I don't think people survive.
Yeah,
You know, you almost have to have an open mind about survival. But I want to do it so bad.
you got to have plan A through Z almost.
Exactly.
Yep.
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 And then, you know, it didn't make the video, but I also tried to make a fire out there with a 9-volt battery and a piece of steel wool.
Oh, did ya?
It didn't work.
That's one really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had it was glowing, it was doing its thing like it's supposed to, but again, everything was wet,
Everything
so
was wet. Yeah.
it was
Okay.
very difficult to get going. I ended up cheating with some lighter fluid, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I did watch that video, and it was a good video. It just made me want to do it even more. Actually, right after I watched that video, and there's another YouTuber that I watched his video on it, and I told Chuck, I'm like, we got to do something. I'm just like, this is really cool. Like, and Rooster, he's just like, I've been wanting to do this for a long time too. So
you know, I
I
think
think,
we could probably touch on something like that if you guys wanted to go into that right now.
yeah, I mean, and like I told Rooster about it. It's like, wouldn't it be awesome to do a challenge? Let's do a Nebraska versus Texas challenge on
Yeah, buddy.
surviving. And we just got to come up with some rules,
See, this
figure
was
it
my
out.
thought. This was my thought. Once we get, you know, the basis of what we're gonna do figured out, I think the way that the video should be judged. This is just my opinion. You guys buck me on this, or we do something else. That's fine. But my opinion would be, let's get the videos made. Let's put the link to both videos in each other's description.
Hmm.
Encourage the viewers to watch the other video and give it,
Yes,
say, a month, 2 months, and the feedback we get on the videos, the viewers will decide who won the challenge.
I agree.
I
I
think that would
agree.
be the best way to go about it. It's very
Yeah,
unbiased, and
yeah, and I told Rooster too. We mentioned, we talk pretty decently often. At least once a week or something. I'll see him online. But I told Rooster, I said, I plan on linking your guys' channels, so it's like that way they can check out the other side of it, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be interesting how much different it's going to be between Nebraska and Texas, just because of the different weather and different environment and stuff.
hmm yeah, absolutely.
But I think that the thing that we both have in common is there's not a lot of public land around here.
No,
Usually it's state parks or stuff like that. But I
yeah,
think
Texas is like 97% privately owned.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's hard, dude. And so it's same way in state parks. I mean, that's about all you got.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a area that I scoped out that I thought would be fun, but um that's that's definitely a challenge we should do. We just got to figure out a time to do it.
Absolutely.
Um and come up with some ideas on maybe some rules.
I would say I
Well,
have probably about 8 weeks, and then
hey,
I'm out.
weeks to do it. You guys better get on it quick.
Right?
Well, I
Yeah.
think we kind of talked what was it, 5 items apiece,
Either 5 or
Yeah.
7. I don't know what we decided on.
and you said what was it, sleeping, your tent, hammock, whatever, wouldn't be part of the 5 items,
Right.
correct?
Like shelter. Yeah.
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 Yep.
And I think that we should score it on food procurement, um, water, and how well you start a fire. I think that we
Yeah.
should see if we can't get those 3 areas scored.
The
And
basics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that could work out pretty good. And it would be a lot of fun overall. Even win or lose, I don't care. I mean, we're going to
Yeah.
win. Let's not get crazy.
I mean,
But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. Just being
Oh,
it
yeah.
outdoors
is.
and
It
there's
is.
something about being out there in the woods, pitch black, in a hammock. Just you find your inner peace out there.
Yeah, but if I 360 a rabbit with a knife, then that's extra points.
Yeah, I would just give you the win off of that. Period. You win.
It might get dangerous out there if I start doing that.
So, with that being said, I got to ask: does the fur bearing animal rule apply to Nebraska the same it does to Texas? Because in Texas, fur bearing animals such as rabbits, coons, stuff like that, any month, usually this isn't an exact science, but usually months ending in R, they ain't no good because they got pinworms like crazy. And in that video that I had, I don't know if I showed the worms in that rabbit, but you can't eat it. I mean, you could try real hard to cook those worms out of it, but personally, being that I wasn't in a legitimate survival, I'm gonna die situation, to me that wasn't worth the risk of me getting those pinworms.
Absolutely, 100%.
So I don't know if that rule applies to Nebraska or not.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure, honestly.
From
Go
my
ahead, Rooster.
experience, it was more times than not they had worms. When
Okay.
it was the few rabbits, I was popping when I lived up there, it was that way. You didn't touch nothing until it got cold.
Right.
Our rule of thumb was once it froze.
Yeah.
I think I said that
See
backwards
that.
earlier. They're only good in months ending in R, is what I meant
Oh,
to say.
okay.
Yeah, I said it backwards earlier.
And see, Rooster's got the advantage of knowing Nebraska and Texas a little bit. So I've never really hunted much in Nebraska, to be honest. Fishing's just been my specialty, and I have more of a passion for fishing than hunting. But if I had to, I think like I could kill a rabbit or something,
A downside we
or
got
build
going
a
on right
simple
now
trap.
is it wasn't even Rooster. Was it about a month or two ago up in Eastland? A dude got Hep E from eating a pig that he shot.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
So right now,
Wow.
I don't know if it's still going on, but right now, wild pigs are potentially diseased. So
Right.
that's sketchy, but it's all you should be able to know. Whenever you kill an animal and you gut it, look
Oh, yeah.
at its liver. That's the number one thing, folks. Inspect the liver. If the liver don't look healthy, don't eat that animal.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the best advice I could give as far as wild game.
And I figured for this challenge, anyhow, I don't know how you'll be, Frankie, but I figured my primary thing's probably going to be fish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So,
I mean, it's since there's not a lot of public land around here, you almost have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody to get on public or on private land.
yeah.
So it's or public land, but it's probably most likely for us going to be at a state lake somewhere where maybe the trails are not leading to, somewhere maybe hidden further back in the woods or the lake.
Well,
But
and if you were on the west side of the state, dude, I could tell you an awesome state park to go to. But
I wish I was on the west side, but
I was gonna say you out there at McConaughey, dude. It's public. I used to deer hunt that lake. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of acres around the lake is all public land. I mean, you could go up in there.
McConaughey is a gorgeous lake.
I mean, there were spots where I'd go up there. You could go far, and you had to go walk the rest of the way to go shoot a deer.
Wow.
Speaking of that,
Yeah,
we
and
need to hit up that secret lake behind Mineral Wells, Rooster.
What's that?
You know that secret lake that's behind Mineral Wells Lake that there's no roads to? One of these days,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to have to hike in there and see what's up, because I bet you there are some monsters in there.
Probably.
Yeah. If it's a spot where there's no access to it really, then I bet there's some monsters in there.
One of these days, man, I'll catch a double digit, but we'll see. Well, bass. Technically, I did hook into a double digit 2 weeks ago. That's a sore subject. If you guys listened to the last podcast, you know that story, and I don't feel like recounting it again, getting my heart broke all over again.
I wish I could have been with you guys. I really do.
I wish I would have had cameras with me that day.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it on record that sooner or later I'll be beating you guys in the Bassmaster Classic. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna throw that on record right now.
All right,
You
all
do
right.
that, it'll be after Texas whoops that butt. Yeah. But I guess, what do you think? Talk about a Valhalla project?
I think we should.
Yeah,
Let's get into that.
yeah. I don't know if anybody really heard of the Toba Hollow project, but the way I came across it, it's my girlfriend seen a shirt that just applied to my personal view on the military. I was in the military for 6 years, Army National Guard. I did a year in Afghanistan, and within that time, um, I lost one of my good friends overseas to suicide. And then
Oh man,
after we got back, another one of my buddies in the military, he committed suicide also.
I hate that, man.
So I lost two people within a couple, within a year or so. And anyways, my girlfriend seen this shirt and she bought it for me, and it was from the Teal Valhalla project. I started looking more into it. I also do some Twitch streaming, gaming, driving mostly American Truck Simulator and stuff like that. But on my stream, I give away a lot of Teal Valhalla project bundles. Now, what the Teal Valhalla project is actually they it's an organization that really likes to bring awareness to veteran suicide and mental health. Bring awareness to mental health because they like to bring awareness to mental health, especially within the military community. And I believe I'm not quite for sure what percentage it is. I believe it's like 20 or 30% of all the proceeds um, go to bring awareness, provide um, mental health help for veterans that have that issue where they feel suicidal, and they put that money to make sure that veterans know they have resources. And not only that, but they also deliver plaques to fallen soldiers from any military branch, and they hand deliver them, and they're also handmade.
That's
So
awesome.
it's not like they send it in the mail. Here's your plaque.
Yeah,
They will
it's not
literally
impersonal or anything. It's very personal.
exactly. Yeah, it's very personal. They literally get on a plane, and they have volunteers all over the country. And if anybody listening right now, um, is military or likes to help out with this, you can actually go to the Teal Valhalla Project website. You can volunteer to deliver a plaque. So if for some reason they need somebody around your state or your area to deliver a plaque to a family that has a fallen member, a military member, then you can volunteer your time to do that for them.
That's awesome.
But it's a great like way to give back to military, and
Yeah, the
it's
men and
it's
women that have given everything for us. We should definitely be giving back to them.
right, and it's very near and dear to my heart because of what I went through. With my two buddies that were just. I wish they knew about it. I wish they knew there was other resources out there. So I'm always trying to spread awareness. Like I said on my Twitch, um, I give away these bundles. Tiva Holla Project has this really cool bundle that comes with a T-shirt that says "Honor Their Sacrifice," and it's got two dog tags on it. It comes with two um, little silver bracelet or band and another black band that come with it, and then you get two black dog tags that say Til Valhalla Project on it. It's really sweet, and it's it's cheap. It's in a bundle together, and I think it's like 22 or $25 or something. And it's like, and they have all this. They got some freaking awesome hats that are always out of stock because everybody buys them all the time. But if you guys want to check them out, just go to valhallaproject.com, and they're awesome. They're really awesome.
Yep. And they are, man. Talking about your Twitch, I mean, I won that one giveaway from you, and dude, it's awesome.
Oh, that's right, Rooster. Yeah, you want to give away from my Twitch too,
Yep, yep.
and the like I told these guys, it's like I don't have a problem giving away these bundles because I know where it's going. You know, I have no problem spending that money because I know where it's going. So that's why I always a lot of my giveaways are Till Valhalla project stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on that note, that's what our giveaway this week is, folks. We're going to be giving away one of these packages to one of you lucky people, and all you're going to have to do is shoot us an email with. I mean, you can just put your name and the subject line will be just fine. But the email is going to be wileyroosterboys@gmail.com. Um, yeah, just shoot us an email. We'll get you entered. We're talking maybe a week or so. Maybe next week when we do the podcast, we'll do a drawing.
Yeah, in the subject line include your name and or either subject line include your name and to Valhalla project or in the
Giveaway.
subject just something letting us know what you're emailing us about and that'll get you entered right away.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Because I mean, Rooster, you and I, we both agree we have the utmost respect for our veterans and everything, and I think that this is a really great cause, and I think that the awareness level needs to be raised for what these guys are going through whenever they get back from, different deployments and stuff like that. And everything that I've read about this Valhalla project, it's an awesome, charity, and it's I like it a lot. There's a lot of things out there, a lot of charities out there that seem questionable, but this one's I like it a lot.
Yep. I didn't know nothing about it until Frankie was telling me about it.
I just started reading
Yeah.
up on it a couple of weeks ago. I honestly didn't know anything about it either until you mentioned it, Rooster.
Hey, that's one of the things that's awesome. It's just like I we brought a lot of awareness alone by just being like, "Hey guys, enter the giveaway." My the very first guy that won the very first Till Valhalla project awareness bundle that I gave away, he didn't even know what Till Valhalla project was. I didn't even know what Till Valhalla project was till my girlfriend bought me that shirt. And it's literally, to me, it's all about trying to spread that awareness, man.
Yep.
Letting just especially letting veterans know, man, there's a way out. So if anybody that's listening, man, if you got an issue going on, um, my Twitch channel is Frankie JC2. If you guys don't mind me saying that, but
Yeah.
Absolutely.
every 22nd of every month, I dedicate to just hanging out. And if somebody is just feeling down mentally, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a military member or not. And if you just want to come chat with me, and if you don't want to chat with me, you can always send me a message on Twitch. We can take it offline. I'm always open to anybody that just needs to get their mind right.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yep. Absolutely.
You got to be there for each other.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason why I picked the 22nd is because you guys, a lot of people have heard, 22 a day type of situation. That's the estimated amount of veterans that commit suicide every day. 22 veterans a day. So that's why every 22nd of every month, I spend that time for just anybody who wants to talk.
Wow.
So
That's an alarming number, man. I hope that we can get to the point at some point to, get that number lowered dramatically or get it down to zero,
absolutely.
Suicide's never the answer. And I would just hope that there's somebody out there to do what you're doing and to help these guys out and let them know that, that's not the answer.
Yeah. And I mean, I appreciate you guys even mentioning on your podcast, man. That right there is just spreading awareness. Like I said, Chuck didn't know about it or Rooster didn't know about it till I mentioned it to him. John, you didn't know about it till Rooster mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
It's just a big chain of awareness, man. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I think that's what the Till Valhalla project is trying to do. Just create this huge chain. That way, eventually, you're gonna run into somebody that's like, "Oh yeah, I know the Till Valhalla project." That's how I want it to be,
Right. Notoriety. I think that's important. Getting the brand out there so people will know and in turn raise awareness about the situation.
Absolutely.
Well, good deal. Yeah, if you guys are interested in winning that giveaway, like we said earlier, just shoot us an email because it's a great cause, and even just supporting the stuff that you'll win, that helps raise the awareness as well. It might spark a conversation. Hey, where'd you get that from? Something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think, what you got something else, Frankie?
oh no, I was just gonna say that. Check out their website.
I'll put
Anybody's
that
listening,
link in
check
the
out their
description.
website, man. Yeah, there we go. They have. I mean, they have hats, T-shirts, like, and not only like is it for veterans, but they also have like the very first guy that won it. He got hooked on the Valhalla project, and he actually works in the medical field. And they have like fire and rescue T-shirts too and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Now that you say that, I think I've actually been seeing shirts and whatnot around for that for quite a while.
Yeah,
I just never knew what it was.
exactly. And I've passed it a couple times on Facebook, and it's like when I got the shirt from my girlfriend, I'm like, what is that? It's like that looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but yeah, great cause for sure.
Yep.
Well, good deal. We'll definitely be trying to spread the word on that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're gonna have to have you on another time, Frankie.
Absolutely, man. I love talking about this stuff. Honestly, I'm glad you asked me to come on here, Rooster. Honestly, like I love talking about fishing for one. Like I said, we all have that 10 or the 5-year plan that turns into a 10-year plan that turns into a 50-year plan.
Right.
2018, it's just a number. What's a number,
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, fellas. Thank you for definitely
Of course.
inviting me along.
Anytime.
Absolutely. And everybody go check out his YouTube, Juan Fish at a Time.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
sir. One
love
fish
that.
at a time.
I love it. I love it.
If you guys don't know how to spell Juan, is Juan. Um, so yeah, come check me out. I'm gonna put out a couple more videos. I haven't put out a video on almost a year, honestly, and you know how everybody it is. Life gets hectic,
Yes,
and it
it
happens.
does.
But
I went 5 months here recently without putting anything out.
yeah, I'm excited to put out a new video because I think my next video is going to be our survival challenge, and our survival challenge is just going to be it's going to be awesome because it's going to be like a catch and cook and a survival challenge.
Yep. I love catching cooks.
For sure.
Like that fish I cooked on that last video, man. Oh, I hadn't eaten in
Oh
so
yeah,
long, and man, that thing was good.
it just tastes like filet mignon out of that
I got down on that 3 pound bass, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, buddy.
Talking about this challenge, me and John had to ask though, Frankie, is coffee going to be included in this?
Oh yeah. The reason we say that is, personally, I request one cheat free item, and that would be a
One cheap free item.
percolator and coffee. Like I said, it's technically two items, but a percolator and coffee. Because
I mean, I think we can make some rules like that. It's definitely not going to be like a true survival thing. Because if it was a true survival thing, obviously, like we wouldn't have the stuff that we have now. But
right.
but
I'm just Rooster, back me up on this. There is nothing better than percolated coffee over a fire.
Oh,
yeah.
man, I'm telling you.
Oh man,
yeah, yeah.
that is good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk the details off, either here on a podcast or we can talk them offline. But yeah, I think I think we can all agree on something like that.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
That works for me.
I think everybody would benefit from it.
That's kind of what I was like. I need my coffee.
So, yeah,
And coffee's very important, near and dear to my heart.
yeah.
But all right, guys, we're just about out of time. I think we're gonna wrap this one up right here. Be sure to check out One Fish at a Time on YouTube. Be sure to check out Texas Wilds, Rooster Outdoors, all those channels on YouTube. Frankie, we're definitely gonna have to have you back on sometime soon. We need to go more in depth about exactly who you are and what you do and stuff like that, because seemingly you're a pretty interesting person. So I think that
Absolutely.
you'd be a great guest. And guys, as always, we appreciate you guys listening. Please rate and share the podcast, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So be sure to enter the giveaway. Again, the email is wileyroosterboys@gmail.com. Wiley Rooster Boys is all one word. I'll include that in the description below. And yeah, God bless you guys, and we will see y'all next time.
Have a good one, guys.